2 weeks ago, you remember the exact moment your life fell apart for the second time. You were standing in the lobby of Kim Empire, a building so tall it scratched the clouds, so sleek it looked like it was carved from obsidian, holding your new employee badge with trembling, excited hands. I did it. I actually did it. Marketing executive at the biggest company in the country. Mom would be so proud. You had worked so hard for this. 4 years of college, 2 years of internships, 6 months of interviews, rejected 13 times by other companies. And finally, Kim Empire said yes. You didn't care that the CEO had a mysterious reputation. You didn't care that people whispered about the company being a front for something darker. You cared about the paycheck, the benefits, and the chance to prove yourself. You walked into the orientation room on the 30th floor, sat down, opened your welcome packet, and the orientation video began. A deep, familiar voice filled the room. Welcome to Kim Empire. I'm btTaehyung, CEO and founder. Your blood turned to ice. You looked up at the screen. There he was, btTaehyung. But not your Taehyung. Not the messy-haired art student who used to paint your portrait in his tiny studio apartment. Not the boy who would leave sunflowers on your desk and write terrible poetry on sticky notes. Not the gentle, shy, beautiful boy who held your hand like you were made of glass. This Taehyung was a man. Sharp jawline, cold eyes, black suit that fit his broad shoulders like armor, hair slicked back, a face so devastatingly handsome it was almost cruel. He looked like a king, a dark, dangerous king. The girl next to you whispered, God, he's gorgeous. They say he's never smiled, not once in any meeting. Your heart was slamming against your ribs. 3 years. It had been 3 years since you walked away from him. 3 years since you left a note on his apartment door that said, I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore. Please don't look for me. You had your reasons. Stupid, painful, complicated reasons. Reasons you had buried so deep you need an excavator to dig them up. And now, the universe decided to put you in his building, under his roof, in his world. You spent the rest of orientation in a daze. When it ended, you speed walked to the bathroom, locked yourself in a stall, and pressed your forehead against the cold tile. This isn't happening. This is not happening. But it was. For 2 weeks, you survived by being invisible. You kept your head down, you worked from your small cubicle on the 25th floor, you took the stairs instead of the elevator to avoid accidentally running into him. You ate lunch at your desk instead of the fancy cafeteria. You never went above the 40th floor. His office was on the 87th. You were safe. Or so you thought. Present day, Monday, 8:47 a.m. You woke up and immediately knew today was going to be terrible. The cramps hit before you even opened your eyes, a deep, vicious, twisting pain in your lower abdomen that made you curl into a ball and whimper. Oh, no, not today. Please, not today. Your period had arrived 2 days early, and not gently. It arrived like a wrecking ball. Full force, maximum pain, zero mercy. You dragged yourself out of bed, took 2 painkillers, strapped on a heating pad under your shirt, and forced yourself to get dressed. You couldn't miss work. You were new. You had a presentation today, a big one. The quarterly marketing report that your team leader had dumped on you because she had a dentist appointment. She was at a spa. You knew it. You put on your best black blazer, your professional pencil skirt, and your brave face. On the subway, a wave of cramps hit so hard you had to grip the pole with white-knuckled hands, your vision blurring. Just get through the day, you told yourself. Present the report, go home, die on your couch with chocolate. Simple plan. You arrived at Kim Empire at 9 a.m. Everything was normal. You sat at your desk, reviewed your slides, drank water. The painkillers were kicking in. You could do this. Then, at 9:30 a.m., your team leader sent a message that destroyed your entire life. Team Leader Park. YN, change of plans. The quarterly presentation has been moved from Conference Room B, 25th floor, to the Executive Boardroom, 87th floor. The CEO himself wants to sit in on marketing reports this quarter. Present well. Don't embarrass us. You stared at the message. 87th floor? The CEO. Kim Taehyung. YN, out loud, at your desk. You have got to be kidding me. The intern next to you jumped. Are you okay, Sunbae? YN, forcing a smile. Never better. Liar. 10:45 a.m. Executive elevator. You stood in the elevator alone, clutching your laptop and presentation folder against your chest like a shield. Your reflection stared back at you from the polished steel doors. Pale face, dark circles, slightly sweating. The cramps were getting worse. The painkillers were wearing off. You could feel the dull ache building into something sharper, meaner. 15 minutes, you told yourself. Just present the report. Don't look at him. Don't think about him. 15 minutes, and you're out. The elevator dinged. 87th floor. The doors opened into a hallway that looked like it belonged in a palace. Marble floors, glass walls, city skylines stretching to infinity. Secretary Kang was waiting. Secretary Kang. Cold, professional. You're the marketing presenter? Yes, ma'am. Secretary Kang, you look pale. Are you well? Perfectly fine, ma'am. Follow me. Mr. Kim does not tolerate lateness, weakness, or incompetence. Present clearly. Don't ramble. Don't make eye contact unless he addresses you directly. Understood? Don't make eye contact. That wouldn't be a problem. You were planning to stare at your slides like they contained the secrets of the universe. Secretary Kang pushed open the massive boardroom doors. The room was enormous. Floor-to-ceiling windows, a long black onyx table, 8 executives seated around it, all men, all in expensive suits, all intimidating. And at the head of the table, Kim Taehyung. He sat like a throne had been built specifically for him. Black suit, black tie, black shirt underneath. Even his watch was black, an Audemars Piguet that probably cost more than your apartment. His legs were crossed, his chin rested on his hand. His dark eyes were fixed on the document in front of him. He hadn't seen you yet. Your heart was hammering so violently you were sure the entire room could hear it. Secretary Kang, the marketing department representative is here for the quarterly report. Taehyung didn't look up. Proceed. You walked to the front of the room on legs that felt like jelly. You set up your laptop, plugged in the projector. Your hands were trembling, but you masked it by gripping the clicker tightly. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your time. I'll be presenting the Q3 Marketing Performance Report for Kim Empire's Consumer Division. You clicked to the first slide. You didn't look at him. You presented. Slide after slide. Data, charts, campaign results. Your voice was clear, professional, controlled. You can do this. Almost done. 3 more slides. And then, at slide 14 of 17, it happened. A cramp hit you so hard your vision went white. Not the dull ache from the morning. Not the manageable throb that painkillers could fix. This was a wave. A vicious, twisting, stabbing pain that radiated from your lower abdomen through your entire body. Your hand flew to your stomach instinctively. You gasped, a small, sharp intake of breath that you couldn't hide. Your clicker slipped from your fingers and clattered to the floor. The room went silent. 8 pairs of executive eyes stared at you. And then, slowly, Taehyung looked up. His dark eyes found you for the first time in 3 years, and the recognition hit him like a freight train. His entire body went rigid. His hand, resting casually on the table, clenched into a fist. His jaw locked. His eyes widened for just a fraction of a second before his mask slammed back into place. But you didn't see any of this, because your vision was swimming. I apologize. As I was saying, the conversion rates for Q3 showed up. Another cramp. Worse, so much worse. Your knees buckled. You grabbed the edge of the podium, but your laptop slid off the table and crashed to the floor, papers scattered. Executive 1. Is she all right? Someone get her a chair. You need, desperately trying to stay standing. I'm fine. I just need a moment. Your body betrayed you completely. Your legs gave out. You felt yourself falling, saw the marble floor rushing toward you, and braced for impact. But the impact never came. 2 strong arms caught you. One arm around your waist, one behind your back, holding you firmly against a solid, warm chest. The scent hit you first. Sandalwood and something dark, something expensive, something achingly familiar. You looked up. Taehyung's face was inches from yours. His dark eyes bore into you. And up close, the mask was cracking. Behind the cold CEO exterior, behind the Mafia King facade, you could see it. A flash of raw, terrified concern. Taehyung, low, only for you to hear. I've got you. 3 words. 3 simple words, said in the same voice, the same low, gentle voice he used to use when you'd fall asleep on his shoulder in college and he'd carry you to bed. Your eyes filled with tears. Taehyung. His jaw tightened at the sound of his name on your lips. Then, in front of 8 senior executives, in front of his secretary, in the executive boardroom of his billion-dollar empire, Kim Taehyung, the most feared mafia CEO in South Korea, picked you up, bridal style, like you weighed nothing. Executive 1. Mr. Kim? Secretary Kang, eyes wide. Sir, should I call medical? Taehyung, cold, commanding, to the room. Meeting adjourned. Everyone out. Now. No one argued. No one dared argue. 8 executives scrambled out of that boardroom like the building was on fire. Secretary Kang hesitated at the door. Taehyung, without turning. Cancel my schedule for the rest of the day. Secretary Kang. All of it, sir? You have the Lee Corporation deal at... Did I stutter? Secretary Kang. No, sir. The door closed. You were alone with him. Taehyung carried you through a private door behind the boardroom that led to his personal office suite, A massive space with a private lounge area, a couch, and a connected bathroom. He set you down on the leather couch, carefully, so carefully, like you were made of porcelain. Another cramp twisted through your body, and you curled into a ball instinctively, gripping your stomach, biting your yip to stop from crying out. Taehyung, kneeling in front of you, voice urgent. Where does it hurt? Tell me. UN, eyes squeezed shut, gasping. I'm fine. It's nothing. I just need to go back to my desk and... Taehyung, firmly. You just collapsed in a boardroom. You're not going anywhere. Where does it hurt? UN, through gritted teeth. It's just cramps. Period cramps. It's nothing serious. I just need painkillers and... She stopped. Because her eyes had opened and she realized she had just said period cramps to Kim Taehyung, her ex-boyfriend, her Mafia CEO boss, in his private office. Her face turned crimson. UN, mortified. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. This is so unprofessional. Please just let me go back to... Shut up.
She blinked. He said it so gently, not rudely, almost tenderly. Like the words meant, stop worrying about what I think and let me help you. Taehyung stood and walked to his desk. He opened the bottom drawer and pulled something out. YN watched, confused, as he returned carrying a small electric heating pad, a bottle of ibuprofen, a bar of dark chocolate, a soft cashmere blanket. He plugged in the heating pad, handed her 2 pills and a glass of water, draped the blanket over her legs, and placed the heating pad gently against her lower stomach. YN stared at him. YN, barely breathing. Why do you have all of this in your office? Taehyung didn't answer immediately. He adjusted the heating pad, making sure it was in the right position. Taehyung, quietly, not meeting her eyes. Secretary Kane gets bad cramps sometimes. I keep supplies for her. It was a lie. YN knew it was a lie. Because Secretary Kane was 58 years old and had told the entire office she went through menopause 6 years ago. Those supplies weren't for Secretary Kane. Those supplies were the same brand, the exact same brand that YN used to use in college. The same ibuprofen, the same dark chocolate, the 72% cacao, the only kind she liked. The same type of heating pad. He had kept them. For 3 years. In his desk. Just in case. Yanu's eyes filled with tears, and this time, it had nothing to do with pain. Taehyung. He's standing abruptly, turning away. Rest. I'll be at my desk. Don't try to leave. He walked to his desk on the other side of the office and sat down. He opened his laptop. He began typing. Cold. Professional. Distant. As if he hadn't just picked her up like a bride in front of 8 executives. As if he hadn't just knelt in front of her like she was the only person in the world. As if he didn't have her favorite chocolate in his drawer after 3 years. Yane lay on the couch, the heating pad warming her stomach, the blanket soft against her skin. And she stared at his back. The painkillers began to work. The cramps eased from screaming to a dull ache. The tension in her body slowly unraveled. But the tension in her heart? That was only getting worse. The 3 a.m. conversation that ended everything. Flashback. 3 years ago. College. You and Taehyung were lying on the floor of his tiny studio apartment, surrounded by paint-stained canvases and empty ramen cups. His head was in your lap. Your fingers were in his hair. You were 21. He was 22. And you were so in love, it was stupid. Taehyung, sleepy, smiling. YN? What would you do if I became someone powerful one day? Powerful? You? Tae, you cry at puppy videos. I'm serious. What if I wasn't just an art student? What if I had a whole other life you didn't know about? You had thought he was being hypothetical, philosophical, just Taehyung being his weird, dreamy self. Then I'd love you anyway, obviously. I don't care about money or power, Tae. I just want you. He had looked up at you with those enormous brown eyes, vulnerable, hopeful, scared, and whispered, "Promise?" Promise. 2 months later, you found out the truth. Not from Taehyung, from a news article. Kim family heir returns to take over empire. College student Kim Taehyung revealed as son of late mafia kingpin Kim Se-jun. Your Taehyung, your gentle, paint-stained, ramen-eating Taehyung, was the heir to the most dangerous criminal empire in South Korea. The boy who cried at puppy videos was the son of a man who made people disappear. You panicked. You didn't confront him. You didn't ask for an explanation. You didn't give him a chance. You wrote a note, left it on his door, and disappeared. I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore. Please don't look for me. You changed your number, moved cities, started over. And for 3 years, you told yourself you did the right thing. But at 2 a.m., when the world was quiet and your heart was loud, you knew the truth. You didn't leave because you were scared of his world. You left because you were scared you weren't enough for his world. Back to present. Taehyung's office, 12:30 p.m. You must have fallen asleep because when you opened your eyes, 2 hours had passed. The cramps had settled into a manageable ache. The heating pad was still warm. Someone had adjusted it while you slept. You sat up slowly, pushing the blanket aside, and looked around. Taehyung was still at his desk, but he wasn't working. He was staring out the window. His laptop was closed, his tie was loosened, his hand was pressed against his mouth, a habit he had when he was thinking about something painful. Taehyung? He turned his head slightly. His profile caught the afternoon light. Sharp, beautiful, impossibly lonely. How are you feeling? Better. A lot better. Thank you. I should go back to my desk. Why are you here, YN? The question landed like a stone in still water. I work here. I got hired through the normal process, I swear. I didn't know you were... I know. I saw your application come through HR 3 weeks ago. I could have rejected it. You knew? This whole time? Taehyung, turning his chair to face her fully, I know everything that happens in my building. I knew the moment you walked through the lobby on your first day. Then why did you let me stay? Long, heavy silence. Because I wanted to see if you'd come to me. If you'd walk up to the 87th floor, knock on my door, and tell me why you left. His voice was calm, controlled. But underneath, Yoon could hear it. There was a tremor, a crack in the foundation. But you didn't. 2 weeks. You took the stairs every day. You ate alone at your desk. You avoided every hallway where you might run into me. He let out a short, humorless breath. You're still running. Taehyung,
Taehyung standing, walking toward her slowly. Do you know what happened the night you left? She shook her head. I came home from a meeting where I was told I had to take over my father's empire, whether I wanted to or not. I was terrified. I was 22 years old and they were putting the weight of a kingdom on my shoulders. The only thing keeping me sane was knowing you were waiting for me. He stopped in front of her. Close. Too close. I walked up to my apartment. I saw your note on the door. I read it 11 times because I couldn't believe the words. His voice dropped. And then I sat on the floor outside my own apartment for 6 hours. I called you 147 times. Every single one went to voicemail. You can start crying. I'm sorry. I built this entire empire, YN. Every floor of this building, every deal, every sleepless night, every enemy I crushed, every scar on my body.
Why didn't you look for me? You could have found me in a day with your resources. Because you asked me not to. That broke her. Completely, utterly broke her. The most powerful man in the country, a mafia king who could find anyone, anywhere, at any time, had respected her wish. For 3 years, even though it destroyed him. Because she had written, "Please don't look for me." And he didn't. I was scared, Taehyung. I was so scared. I read that article and I thought, I'm nobody. I'm a regular girl from a regular family. I can't stand next to a mafia king. I'll be a burden, a weakness, a target. You were never a burden. You were the only thing in my life that was real. But your world is so dangerous. My world? Young, you were my world. You were the only world I wanted. I would have burned the empire to the ground if you had asked me to. I would have walked away from everything. The money, the power, all of it. If you had just stayed. Taehyung, do you know why I have that chocolate in my drawer? The heating pad? The same brand of painkillers you always used? She couldn't speak. Because every month, I would think, what if today is the day she walks back into my life? What if she's hurting and she needs someone? What if she comes to me and I don't have what she needs? His voice shattered. I kept them for 3 years, Yuna. Like a fool. Waiting for a girl who told me not to look for her. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I was a coward. I should have stayed. I should have talked to you. I should have trusted you. Yes, you should have. I know. And I can't take it back. But I'm here now. I'm right here. And I'm not running anymore. She looked up at him through her tears. If you still want me, after everything I did, after 3 years of silence, if there's even a small part of you that still... He kissed her. Not softly, not gently. Not like the shy college boy who used to blush when their hands touched. He kissed her like a man who had been drowning for 3 years and had finally found air. His hand slid into her hair. His other arm pulled her flush against him. The kiss was desperate, aching, full of 3 years of loneliness and longing, and love that had never died, no matter how hard they both tried to kill it. When they finally pulled apart, both breathless, Taehyung pressed his forehead against hers,
ever leave me again. Never. I promise. Never again.
Taehyung, pulling back slightly, wiping her tears. Good. Because this time, I will look for you. I'll tear the world apart if I have to. You won't have to. I'm not going anywhere. He held her, tight, pressing his face into her neck. And for the first time in 3 years, Kim Taehyung, Mafia CEO, cold-blooded businessman, the man who never smiles, breathed. Really, truly breathed. The next morning, Tuesday, 8:30 a.m., Kim Empire Lobby. You walked into the building the next morning feeling like a completely different person. Your cramps were still there. Day 2, the war zone, as Taehyung predicted, but manageable. You were wearing a new coat, delivered to your apartment at 7 a.m. by Taehyung's driver, with a note. It's cold today. Wear this, and eat the breakfast in the bag. All of it. I'll know if you skip. Tea. Inside the bag, a full Korean breakfast from the most expensive restaurant in Gangnam, and a small bottle of ginger tea from that shop in Hongdae. He remembered. He remembered everything. You walked to the elevator, smiling like an idiot, when Secretary Kang appeared beside you. Secretary Kang, adjusting her glasses, tone unreadable. Miss YN? Startled. Yes, Secretary Kang? Mr. Kim has requested that your workstation be moved. Moved? To where? Pressing the elevator button for the 87th floor. To the office adjacent to his. Effective immediately. The 87th floor? But I'm a marketing executive. I can't just... Secretary Kang. A small, rare smile. Miss Yen, in the 3 years I have worked for Mr. Kim, I have never seen him cancel a meeting. Yesterday, he canceled 7. She looked at you over her glasses. Whatever you did, don't stop doing it. The elevator doors opened to the 87th floor, and there, leaning against the hallway wall, arms crossed, wearing another impossibly perfect black suit, was Taehyung. He was holding a heating pad in one hand and a cup of ginger tea in the other. Taehyung, deep voice, small smirk. You're late. Trying not to cry from happiness. I'm literally 2 minutes early. Taehyung walking toward you. 2 minutes early is 10 minutes late in my world. He handed you the tea. Drink. It's day 2. Taking the tea, tears in her eyes. You're insane. Softly, tucking a strand of hair behind your ear. About you? Yes. For 3 years, 6 months, and 14 days. You counted the days? Taehyung, leaning close, whispering. I counted the hours. You stared at him. He stared back. And somewhere in the background, Secretary Kang pretended not to see her terrifying, ruthless, cold-blooded CEO blushing as his ex-girlfriend punched his chest and called him a dramatic idiot. Some things never change, and some loves never die. They just wait, quietly, patiently, with a heating pad and dark chocolate in a desk drawer, for the right person to come home.